everybody, Jane here, and today I am recording my April TBR. I have quite a lot of books I want to read this month. Let's hope I get to them. Of those, I will say that 5 were sent to me by the publisher or author from a Goodreads giveaway or a Library Things giveaway, so I just wanted to, at the start of this, thank the authors and the publishers for sending them to me. Before we get into those, and I'm going to be unwrapping them on screen because I don't know exactly what I've gotten. I have suspicions because there were 7 books that I had won. And I have 5 here, and I think I know which 5, but I'm not sure, so we might be in for a surprise. But before we get started with that, let's talk about some of the other reads I planned for the month, including if you watched my goal video at the beginning of the year, you know I'm trying to read books on my Kindle. I basically, since I got my Kindle, got a ton of books, and then for a while I was reading on it a lot, and then forgot. And didn't forget it existed, I just, I stopped reading on it as much. So I'm working on getting back to that and getting through my TBR on my Kindle, because there's still a lot of books on there I really want to read. I just sometimes forget they're there because I don't look at them the way you would at a bookshelf in your room. So the first book I want to read from my Kindle, there's 2 this month that I'm putting on my TBR. I hope to get through them both, but as long as I get through one, I'll be fine with it. The first is Put the Cat in the Oven Before You Describe the Kitchen by Jake Vander Ark. And this is a book on creative writing, and I believe it focuses on pacing, but I'm not sure. I love to pick up creative writing books every now and then just because, there's always something more to learn. So I'm excited about that, see what there is. That's a fairly short book, so I'm hoping to read that in one setting, and that's one of the reasons I chose 2 this month. The second book is Kiss Me at Willoughby Close by Katie Hewitt. And this is actually the 4th book in the series, but I've never read the other books, and I didn't have them on my Kindle, so I'm going to read this one and hope that it makes good enough sense. Romance, and most romances you can read as a standalone, so I'm pretty hopeful. It is about a woman whose husband has died and she is pregnant, and she goes to this Willoughby Close. I think Willoughby Close is maybe a town or a manor, I'm not sure. And my understanding is she falls in love with the man who's taking care of the property. Like, her and the caregiver, are who the love story is about. So I love stories where there is a pregnant heroine and she is falling in love, like, either with the dad, that's fine with me, or with somebody different. This is not the first, widowed pregnant woman I've read about, and I love those stories. So I'm really excited to read it. It sounds right up my alley. All right, the next book that is on my TBR, and I'm not going to lie, I'm only half excited about this. This is a book club read, and it is called Beat the Reaper by Josh Bazell. And the only reason I'm only half excited about it is it involves the mafia, and the mafia is not really my go-to thing. It's something I generally don't like reading about. But my understanding is this is about a doctor and a mafia man, and the mafia man is dying, maybe, and the doctor has to save him, but there's more to it than that, and I don't know. I am going to try to read it. I just joined a book club, and it's not the end of the world if I don't read it or don't go, but this is what they're reading, and I really want to give it a try. It just isn't really up my alley, so I'm hoping it surprises me, and I decide I love it. The next book on my TBR is The Children Act by Ian McEwan. And here's why I'm reading this. I just watched the movie of this, and it was a cool movie, but I didn't understand it. So I'm hoping that this book makes a heck of a lot more sense than the movie did. The movie was really cool, but there were some things that I felt like I wished I knew about the characters, like what they were thinking, what they were feeling, what their internal struggles were, because that really wasn't presented as well as I needed it to be in the movie to understand what was happening. So at the start of the movie, I'm going to tell you the plot of the movie as far as I can tell, because the book should be pretty similar. There is a judge who rules in family court on the best interest of the children. And I don't know if she specializes in medical cases, but the first case in the movie that we see her do is a medical case about whether or not conjoined twins should be separated. If they are not separated, there's a potential that both children will die, like a very big potential. Or if they are separated, one will absolutely die at the separation. So it takes place in England, at least the movie did, and so the hospital gets to make a lot more decisions about healthcare, or because the parents don't want the children separated because they don't want to just kill their one child right now. They kind of, I think, wanted to wait and see what happened. But anyway, so she's a children's court judge, and she gets to rule on those kind of things. Enter the story that this is actually about. There is a Jehovah's Witness teenager who needs a blood transfusion to survive. And he's very religious, adamant about his religious choices, and she goes to talk to him at the hospital. He's only, I think, 6 months from being 18. So Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe in blood transfusions, and she has to decide whether they are going to respect his religious beliefs and let him just basically die without a blood transfusion, but keep his religion intact, or if they're going to force a blood transfusion on him and save his life, and he'll just have to deal with that. So that's what the story's about, and then the rest of the story and the part of the movie that confused me so much was the consequences of her ruling. I won't go into it beyond that because I'm still not sure what happened. I thought so many things were going one way and they went another. I didn't really know. So I'm hoping the book clears it up for me. I did really enjoy the movie and I wanted to know more. I was just so confused. All right, the next book is When I Spoke in Tongues, A Story of Faith and Its Loss. And that is by Jessica Willibanks. And that is pretty self-explanatory. I feel like it is about a woman who's in a very conservative religion and eventually leaves that conservative religion. I will say, I had won this book in a Goodreads giveaway, but it hadn't arrived yet. And enough time had passed that I kind of thought maybe it wouldn't arrive. So there is a tiny, tiny, tiny possibility that this book will be in one of my things sent by the publisher, but I've kind of given up hope on it. I've messaged them and hey, book never came. And I actually have 2 books like that from these Goodreads giveaways that they haven't arrived yet, and I'm not sure if they got lost in the mail or what happened. So I ended up getting this from the library though because I really did want to read it. For those of you who aren't aware, I grew up in a really conservative religion and I left it, and it has such a huge impact on your life when that happens to you. So I'm really curious to read this girl's tale of, her story, and she's a different religion than I was. But to see, how her religion was, why she left, and how it changed her and evolved her as a person afterwards. So I'm excited, but I had to add it to my TBR because I really do want to read it. Okay, the next 2 books actually are ones that had previously been sent to me by the authors or publishers through Goodreads giveaways, and I never got to them. Several years ago, I'd gone and gotten Goodreads crazy and library things crazy, and I basically requested all the giveaways, and I started winning a lot of them, which is great and kind of addictive. And then I started getting books and getting books and getting books, and then I got really overwhelmed by the amount I got, and so certain books just never got read. And these are 2. I think they're the last 2 that I've never gotten to that I really, I want to. They did get sent to me. I need to get the book read and reviewed, and I'm sorry it has taken me so long. And the first is Cure, A Journey into the Science of Mind Over Body by Jo Marchant. And I am still really excited to read this book. This is a book, obviously, about the connection of health between mind and body, and how our body influences our mental health and our mental health influences our body. And I'm really interested in anything about psychology, biology, and health. So this is a book that's really right up my alley. I'm really excited to read it. I just hadn't gotten to it yet. It is an ARC, and you can see that it says that right there, uncorrected proof. So obviously the real book is for sale now. I'm excited to give it a try. The next book is also one, as I said, that was sent by the publishers a while ago, and that is Mrs. Poe. And this is a book about a woman named Frances who has an affair with Edgar Allan Poe and then becomes friends with his wife, and I guess things take a dark turn. I am assuming this is kind of a thriller, but I'm not sure. And this is also an arc. So I'm hoping it's exciting. I'm hoping it's kind of edge of your seat, because I really am kind of in the mood for that right now. I really want something that's going to excite me and really drive me to read. And I am a big fan of Poe. He's a little bit weird, obviously, life-wise, but I really respect his work, so I'm excited. All right, guys, now comes the fun stuff. We get to start opening my books. So let's do the first one here. And this one was the first one that I had sent this month, and I'm so excited to read it. I don't know what it is. Oh, and they sent a cute little letter. Oh, thank you. That is so sweet. It says, "Dear Jane, congrats on being the lucky winner. I'm really glad this book is going to you, and I really hope you like it. If you feel so inclined, would you consider helping me with a review on Amazon? That would really help me out as a new author. Thank you in advance." I will totally be trying to give you a review on Amazon, because that is what I do. And I'm very excited to read your book. All right. And this is If Nuns Were Wives, a handbook on marriage from the perspective of a nun. And I guess this is a relationship book from things learned as a nun. And that's a cool idea. I love books like this that talk about relationships. Like I said, anything sociology type wise I'm into. Now, I'm not married. I'm divorced. So I'm fascinated by the topic of marriage, but I am in a long-term relationship. And I loved things like, I read a lot of Gary Smalley's relationship books back in the day. And I've also read the Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. So I'm excited to see what a nun has to say about marriage that I hadn't thought of or hadn't, wasn't something that was in my realm. And again, I'm not entirely sure what these are. So, oh, this is a chunker. Why You Like It, The Science and Culture of Musical Taste. Oh, this is one of the ones that had taken a while to get here. I am so excited to see this. It is huge. Oh my goodness. I didn't realize that it was going to be that big. So this is about why we have the musical taste that we do. And here's the thing. I am not a musician, but I like music and I love science. So I'm a little bit nervous because this book is huge, but I'm also very excited. I definitely want to read this book. It is an advanced reader copy, so it's not out yet, but it looks like it will be out later this month. So, that is a big boy. But it's a science-y book based on why we like the music we like. And considering my own kind of weird musical taste, I'm really curious to see what is going to appeal to me, or why they think certain things appeal to you. I'm not sure how much of this is going to be like music theory of this is what we think as humans sounds good versus why people as individuals develop taste. I kind of assumed it was going to be more of like a psychology of why we like the music we like, but maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. I'm excited. Very, very excited that that one arrived. I kind of had given up on that. So thank you, author/publisher, for sending that to me. The next one. The Wonder of Lost Causes. This is about a boy with cystic fibrosis and his dog. Basically everything I love. With a physical health issue, a beautiful doggy on the cover. I love dogs. Anything with dogs I'm really about. A boy and his dog. I mean, just this seems like everything I'm going to want. It is a novel by Nick Trout, and this is an advanced reader edition. I am stoked to get into this one. This is just, it looks like it's going to be amazing, and it's going to make me cry. I love characters who have any kind of health issues, and I know a little bit about cystic fibrosis, not a lot, but I am so excited to read this. Oh. All right. The next book. Ooh. This is the guest book by Leanne Shapton, and I believe this is a short story collection of ghost stories. This has a lot of photographs in it, so this is actually probably going to be a fairly short read, but that is a beautiful, beautiful book, and I am so excited to be reading it. Yeah, it's a collection of ghost stories, I believe they are fiction, but I'm not sure. I wanted something a little unusual. I got it. And this is our last one. And then my TBR will be complete. And as you can see, I have a lot of reads this month. I am so stoked, so excited, so much I want to read. It's going to be a fun month. I just hope I can get to everything, because now that I'm not sick, I've got a lot more going on in my world. All right, and the last one is The Electric Hotel by Dominic Smith. And this book is about a movie maker and his inspiration. And if you listened to or watched my wrap up, you'll know I just read a book on like screenwriting, and I'm fascinated by this. I'm really interested in how Hollywood makes films, and I'm really excited to get to reading this. This looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I think there's a romance involved. And I don't know that this one's out either yet. Yep, this is an advanced reader copy either, so these are not out yet. So I get to read them before everybody else and put up my reviews, and I'm so excited about that. I will let you know how they are. I'm hoping they are amazing, and I'm hoping I have a really good time with them, because, you know, you always hope that on a TBR. So I am so excited to read all of these. I'm going to put my books together and hold them up so that you can see everything I'm reading, although of course that doesn't count for the Kindle books, but this lovely stack right here, all the books. I'm very excited, can't wait to read them. I think it's going to be an amazing, amazing reading month. So, my social media is below. If you have read any of these books, I would love to hear what you thought of them. Also, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.